Welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving headfirst into the absolute cosmic mystery box that is the climax of Christopher Nolan's Interstellar. Honestly, if you've watched the film, your brain probably hurt at least a little bit by the time the credits rolled, right? It all culminates in this massive sequence that literally folds time, space, and human emotion into one perfectly constructed puzzle. We aren't just going to look at the stunning visuals today. We're going to unpack the actual theoretical physics and the intricate narrative loops that make this ending structurally brilliant. So let's start with the ultimate mind-bending paradox that frames our entire cosmic detective story. Think about it. Cooper is saved from the black hole by bulk beings, these highly evolved future humans. But if humanity was facing imminent extinction on Earth, how did they ever survive to evolve into those bulk beings in the first place? It feels like a massive chicken and egg contradiction. But as we're going to see, the actual physics consulted for this film offers a totally ironclad solution. Section 1. The ultimate causal loop. Unraveling the predestination paradox. To understand Cooper's journey into Gargantua, we really have to wrap our heads around how his actions create a closed loop. The absolutely crucial point here is that Cooper isn't changing the past, he is fulfilling it. You know how in most time travel movies like Back to the Future, if you step on a bug, you accidentally alter the whole timeline? Well, Interstellar operates on what physicist Kip Thorne calls the Novikov self-consistency principle. In this framework, there is only a single, perfectly consistent timeline. The actions of time travelers are already baked into history, so no matter what they do, they physically cannot create a logical contradiction. Kip Thorne uses this amazing billiard ball analogy to illustrate exactly how this works. Imagine a billiard ball rolls back in time and hits its past self entirely away from the time machine. That's a paradox, right? It breaks reality. But under the Novikov principle, the ball emerges from the wormhole and just delivers a glancing blow. And that specific blow is exactly what knocks its past self into the wormhole to begin with. In our story, future humanity's intervention is that exact glancing blow. So, rather than being some messy plot hole, the bulk beings placing the wormhole near Saturn is a meticulously crafted loop of human evolution. Future humans aren't changing history at the risk of wiping themselves out. They are actively ensuring their own existence. The timeline we see playing out is literally the only one. Cooper was always the ghost. Without him dropping those coordinates in the dust, he never would have found NASA, never flown into Gargantua, and definitely never become the ghost. Section 2. Geometry of the Tesseract, building the fourth dimension. Okay, so how does this temporal loop actually translate into a physical space? That impossible, dizzying maze Cooper falls into after ejecting from his Ranger isn't just a cool sci-fi buzzword. It's a real, mathematical, geometric concept. Just like a standard 3D cube is boxed in by flat 2D squares, a 4D tesseract is a hypercube. It's bounded by 8 3D cubical cells that all meet at right angles. To really grasp this, let's build it up in our minds. We go from a 1D line to a 2D square to a 3D cube. Finally, step 4. If you were to pull that 3D cube through a fourth spatial dimension, you get the Tesseract. The incredibly advanced bulk beings essentially constructed this 5-dimensional environment, that's 4 spatial dimensions plus time, so that a 3-dimensional guy like Cooper could experience time not as a fleeting invisible moment, but as an actual physical place. Every single moment of Murph's bedroom exists simultaneously all around him, like an infinitely sprawling library. Section 3. Gravity across time, bridging the micro and macro. With our cosmic crime scene constructed, we have to figure out how Cooper actually communicates from inside this giant geometric puzzle. And just notice the totally incomprehensible contrast here. On one side, Cooper is floating in an alien hypercube inside the singularity of a black hole. On the other side, young Murph is just chilling in her childhood bedroom watching dust fall and books mysteriously drop to the floor. The bridge between these two wildly different realities is the only force capable of crossing dimensions, which is gravity. According to Thorne, Cooper isn't just looking at the backs of books. He's actually seeing what physicists call their world tubes, basically the physical paths of those objects stretched across time. By plucking these tubes like guitar strings, he's generating a gravitational wave out in the bulk space. Now here's the wild part. This wave travels forward in his time, but hits backward in Earth's linear time. He literally becomes the ghost, using gravity to manipulate physical matter to knock off books, which is, let's be honest, the most complicated text message ever sent, just to desperately spell out the word stay. Section 4. The ticking watch anomaly, Morse code across dimensions. Now this brings us to a massive, highly practical problem in our mystery. We have to transfer quantum data to a grown-up Murph. Think about this for a second. If Cooper is just pushing the second hand of the watch with his fingers in one specific, fleeting moment while he's floating in the Tesseract, how is adult Murph able to read that continuous Morse code years later at a completely different location at NASA? Well, the source material reveals an absolutely brilliant piece of sci-fi engineering. The Tesseract was built specifically to record and endlessly repeat his gravitational manipulation. When Cooper inputs the quantum data, the Tesseract essentially acts like a cosmic hard drive. It stores his specific sequence of pushes and just loops them, effectively running the message on repeat for decades. But wait, what happens when Murph packs the watch in a box and drives away? As the physics experts point out, the Earth is zooming around the sun at something like 30 kilometers a second. A fixed point in empty space would be utterly useless. The genius of it is that the Tesseract is tethered to the physical matter of the watch itself. Because gravity acts on mass, the looping continues to work perfectly, no matter where Murph takes the watch. Section 5. The Physics of Love. A quantifiable navigational force. Let's move to the final piece of the puzzle, revealing the ultimate motive behind this entire temporal intervention. We all remember that famous line from Dr. Brand, right? Initially, it just sounds like romantic desperation, a scientist clutching at straws. But what the sources make crystal clear is that in Nolan's universe, this statement isn't just a nice metaphor. It transforms into a literal, quantifiable reality. It becomes the exact navigational tool Cooper relies on. The film is actually arguing that the geometry of fatherhood operates completely outside standard physics. The bulk beings didn't just build a tesseract, they built it using Cooper's emotional architecture to navigate it. These beings have access to infinite time and space, but absolutely no way to find the specific moment they need to change. Cooper can find it purely because of his unbreakable bond with Murph. His devotion entirely refuses to obey entropy, allowing him and TARS to successfully transmit the data, prompting Murph's famous Eureka moment and officially saving humanity. So I'll leave you with a provocative thought to chew on. If future humans saved past humans so that past humans could become future humans, where does the circle actually start? As we zoom out, we realize that in a 5-dimensional universe where time is just a physical hallway you can casually walk down, the very concept of a beginning might just be a limitation of our 3-dimensional brains. The end might just be the beginning. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I hope it brought some serious clarity to an absolutely brilliant story.